Hi everyone, and welcome to our third and final tutorial about putting your outfit into the game. So far, we have talked about making a simple replacer mod and a replacer plus plugin patch mod. But what you probably really want to know is how you can add a new outfit into the game from scratch. It's easier than you might think. So let's get to it. Here are the steps that we're going to go over. I will be assuming that you've completed all the tutorials so far and that you have created the standalone archmage pouches from the previous exercises. That is the example that we're going to work with in this video. We've already covered the different ways that you can put an outfit into Skyrim in detail, and we've done that twice, so I'll keep it brief. There are 3 types of mods that you can make depending on what you want to do. There is a simple replacer mod, there is a replacer with a plugin patch, and there is a standalone new item. When you have an outfit that you want to be its own unique item in the game, not just replacing something that already exists, then making a new standalone outfit mod is what you want to do. The process starts off in a very similar manner to what we've already done in the previous 2 examples. First, we need to create the mod folders. Unlike the previous examples, we don't have to worry about how an outfit was set up in vanilla Skyrim or in another mod because we aren't going to make a replacer. We can set up our new mod folder however we want. First, create your main mod folder somewhere, like on the desktop, and give it a relevant name. I'm going to call mine Standalone Archmage Pouches. Now we have to set up the folders inside. Remember that all meshes must be located inside a meshes folder, and all textures must be located inside a textures folder. One thing I strongly recommend is making the first folder inside either the meshes or textures folder as another mod-specific named folder. For example, I'm going to make my first folder in the meshes folder another one called Archmage Pouches. The reason for this is that every single outfit you have gets loaded into Skyrim's data folder when you launch the game through your mod manager. If you do not have a completely unique path and unique name for your outfit's nifs, then you could end up with competing meshes between mods, and yours could be overwritten by something else. So my first folder inside the meshes folder is called Archmage Pouches. And I'm going to break these out further into male and female subfolders called M and F. And then I copy over the appropriate NIF files into their respective folders. The female pouch NIFs in our demo mod are found in Meshes, Simply Close, Demo, and Other. And be sure to copy over the size 0, size 1, and ground models. If you have not done the previous exercises, please note that these meshes will not be there. You can use Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V to copy and paste, but I'm lazy, so I do the one-handed right-click, drag and drop, and select Copy. You can change the names of these if you want, but I think they're fine the way they are. Then we do the same thing for the male pouches, and again you can change the names if you want, and then we are good to go. Since we're going to input unique file paths and file names into our new plugin for the standalone items, we can make the folders however we want, and name the files whatever we want. The only rules are that meshes have to go in a folder called Meshes, and textures in a folder called Textures, and plugins always go in the main mod folder. In the last step, we got all of our meshes, and textures if you have them, into a new mod folder. Now we have to create the plugin that puts them into the game. Without the instructions provided by an ESM, ESP, or ESL, the game won't use the files. Go ahead and open up SSEEdit from your mod manager. If you have any trouble with this step, please refer to video number 25 for the basics of SSEEdit. We're going to copy some vanilla Skyrim records to use as templates for our new items. This is what I recommend for most outfits because it's easier than making them from scratch. Note that you can copy records from another mod, but that will frequently require you to make that mod as a master of your new plugin, which you really shouldn't do unless you actually need that mod in order for yours to work. Okay, let's copy some records from the Skyrim ESM into a new plugin for our mod. It's easiest if you copy something that is similar to what you were adding, but vanilla Skyrim has no standalone pouches or purses or even belts, so I'm going to use the ragged cap, which is the beggar's hat, as a template. Expand the Skyrim ESM and then expand the Armor Addon. Find the Beggar Hat 01 AA record here close to the top of the list and right-click on it. Select Copy as New Record Into, and then pause at the pop-up warning until the Yes, I'm absolutely sure option turns green. Then, with a bold press of your finger, click on it. Decide on a new editor ID name for the item that you're adding to the game. For our example, I'm going to use Archmage Pouches AA. Recall that Armor Addon records get the AA suffix by convention, although they do not have to have this in order to work properly. Hit OK once you have typed in your new ID. Now we have to select the plugin to save this record to, or as for our example, create a new plugin. Scroll down until you get to a list of options that start with New File. I suggest creating new plugins initially as straight-up ESPs. The ESL flag can be added later once the plugin is all finished. So tick the box next to the first option for ESP with no flags listed over here in these boxes, and then click OK. We have to give our new plugin file a name, and it should be something similar to your mod name. I'm going with standalone Archmage Pouches, so I type that in here and then hit OK. In SSEEdit, the new plugin should now be listed at the bottom. You can scroll all the way down and check that it's there, and then open it up to see your copied Armor Addon record too. But we aren't done yet. We also need an armor record for these pouches. Scroll back up to the top of the screen and go back to the Beggar Hat Armor Addon record. To easily navigate to the corresponding armor record, click on the Referenced By tab and then double-click on the first line. This takes us to the armor record for the same hat, so right-click on the record name over here in the left pane and select Copy as New Record Into. We have to assign a new editor ID again, and I'm going to stick with Archmage Pouches. We want to put this record into the new plugin that we've just created, which should actually be highlighted for you. If it's not, just scroll down until you find it. For our example, I called my ESP standalone Archmage Pouches, so I tick the box next to that to select it and click OK. And those are all the records that we need to copy, so let's scroll down and find our new plugin on the left. Open it up and open up the Armor Addon category. Select the Archmage Pouches Armor Addon record. This is just a template, so we need to change it for our new item. And it won't affect the original item at all because we copied this into a new record, instead of using Copy as Override like we did before for our patch. All the text in this record is white, and there is no other plugin listed over here in the right pane, so only our new plugin is going to affect this new item. Let's start at the top of this record and work our way down. First, we have the partition priority slots. If you recall from video number 13 about partitions, what we list here is not the equip slot. This is where we tell the game which partitions this item should cover and what priority they should have over other items that cover the same partitions. We don't need long hair or hair for our pouches. We need the one from our NIF, which is 52. And note that we are working with an example that's very simple and has only one partition. Remember that you need to list all the partitions here for all the meshes in your NIF, because if you don't, parts of your outfit will be missing in the game. To change this partition, double-click on the line that says First Person Flags Sorted, and tick or untick the boxes until your partition or partitions are selected. And then click anywhere off of this line. Armor type and race are fine as listed here, and the priority values of 0 are also fine since we really shouldn't have other partition 52 items that are competing with these pouches. If you need your item to show over the top of another item, you can raise the priority value in increments of 5. I wouldn't worry too much about this for now. We'll have a whole video on partition priorities coming up soon. The weight sliders are fine as they are, enabled for both males and females, which is appropriate since we have size 0 and size 1 pouches for both sexes in our mod. You can ignore these bits here and move on to the world models, which is where we put the path to the wearable NIFs. Skyrim already knows that all NIFs are located inside a meshes folder, so start the path with your first subfolder. Do a slow double click, delete what's here by hitting backspace or delete, and then type in the file path that you created in your new mod folder. If you are following along, this is archmage pouches, then a backslash, then M for male, backslash, and then the name of our size 1 wearable male pouches NIF, which is pouches_1.nif. Note that you should always list the size 1 NIF here in the plugin. Once you are done, hit enter. Okay, now for the female wearable NIF. Slow click on this line and enter the file path. You can either copy and paste the line from above and then change it as needed, or you can type in the path again from scratch. For our example, it is archmage pouches, \F, \, and then pouches_1.nif. Hit enter when you are done. And one last reminder that you should always list the size 1 NIF here. We can ignore these other lines, but we need to change the additional races list. Because of the way headwear is set up for humans versus beasts, this Armor Addon record does not contain Khajiits or Argonians. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but for now, let's add those races here. Right-click on this top line and select Add. Then slow double-click on the new line that says Null Reference. Click the little arrow to open the drop-down list and scroll up to find Argonian. Select it and then click off the line. We need to do this 3 more times to add Argonian vampires, Khajiit, and Khajiit vampires. So add 3 more new slots, then slow double-click to edit the line, and either click the little drop-down arrow to choose the race, or start typing in the race name, and then hit enter when the field starts to populate. And that's it for the Armor Addon record. But now we have to fix up the armor record. Click on the armor record for your new item. For our example, everything up top here is good. Now let's change the name to Archmage Pouches. Slow click here and change that, and then hit enter. Then we need to change the male ground model NIF. So slow click here, hit backspace or delete, and then type in the path to your ground model. In our example, it is Archmage Pouches, \M, \, and then pouches m_gnd.nif, and then hit enter. Now we need to add a female ground model because we have a different ground model NIF for each sex. Right-click on the female world model line and select Add. Then slow-click in the box for Mod 4 model file name and enter the path. You can copy and paste from the mail model, or you can type the whole thing in. It should be archmage pouches \f and pouches f_gnd.nif, and then hit enter. Next up is the equip slot. Remember that the partition or partitions you select in the armor record are exclusive, meaning no other item can be worn in the slots listed here while you are wearing this item. Notice for the beggar's hat that this includes the circlet partition, which is why you can't wear a circlet with the hat in vanilla Skyrim. Double-click on the first-person flag's sorted line, and then tick or untick the boxes until you have selected the equip slot or slots that you want. For our example, that is slot 52, and then click anywhere off the line. I would generally advise to only use one slot here unless you really need to block another slot entirely for your item to work properly. The armor type is already set to clothing, and we already have appropriate sound files, and the default race here is set as it should be. But we need to tweak the keywords a bit. If you have a keyword called Survival Armor Cold, then I would suggest removing it because that doesn't really make sense for these pouches. If you have that keyword, right-click on it and select Remove. Let's also change the clothing head keyword. This controls which enchantments can be applied to the item. Instead of headwear enchantments, let's make these pouches accept glove enchantments. So slow double-click on the clothing head line, use the little down arrow to open up the drop-down list, select clothing hands, and then click anywhere off the line. Then we have to fix the armature lines, which are the fields that point to the correct Armor Addon records. Note that the beggar's hat has 3 armatures, and that is because most headwear needs 3 different wearable nifs. One for humans, one for Khajiit, and one for Argonians, due to their very different head shapes. But our pouches only have 1 wearable nif, because all of them share the same body, and so it fits all of the races, so therefore we only need 1 Armor Addon record. First, delete the extra 2. Right-click on the ARGAA line and select Remove, and then do the same for the KHAGAA. And now change the remaining AA reference to point to our pouches Armor Addon instead. Slow click on that line, then click the little drop-down arrow and scroll to find Archmage Pouches AA in the list. The list is alphabetical, so find it close to the top. Select it, then hit enter or click anywhere off of this line. Lastly, adjust the value, weight, and armor rating if you wish. I'm going to change the value to 50, but leave the rest alone. Note that clothing does not generally have an armor rating above 0. And with that, we're done. We can close SSEEdit by clicking the little X in the upper right-hand corner, and then we'll be prompted to save our new plugin. Leave the box ticked and click OK. If there are any plugins listed here that you did not intend to change, simply untick the box next to them, and they will not be saved. We are almost finished. There's just one last step required to complete our mod. But before we do that, let's just quickly recap the main things to check in the records for your new item. You might want to pause and grab screenshots of these checklists for reference. Here are all the things to check in the Armor Addon record. And here are the things you should check in the armor record. Please just pause here if you need more time to read or copy these checklists. In the next step, we're going to add the plugin we've just made to our new mod folder. With our new plugin created, we just have to add it into the new mod folder that we made in step 2. Remember that the plugin goes right in the main mod folder, not inside any subfolders. For MO2 users, your new plugin will be located in the Overwrite folder. Scroll to the bottom of the left-hand pane and double-click on the Overwrite line. Then locate the new plugin that you created. With your new mod folder open next to the Overwrite folder in the MO2 window, drag and drop the plugin file from Overwrite into your new mods folder. And it should look like this when you're done. For Vortex users, your new plugin will be located in the Skyrim data folder. Open that folder and then scroll down until you find the new plugin file that you made. Open your mod folder next to this data folder window, then move the file to your new mod by either using Ctrl-X to cut and Ctrl-V to paste, or by right-clicking to drag and drop the new plugin and selecting Move. Be sure this file is actually moved and not just duplicated into your new mod folder. And that's it! Let's get your new mod installed. Installing the new standalone mod is exactly the same as the process that we've shown for the other two mod types we covered. I will show the steps quickly here, so please refer back to video number 24 as needed. I'm going to use the quick and dirty installation method for both MO2 and Vortex. If you want to do the more technically correct method of creating an archive first, please see video number 24. Vortex is quicker, so let's do that one first. Open the Mods tab. Drag and drop the new mod folder that you made into the box here at the bottom of the window. After it installs, make sure it's activated. And load order should not really matter since this is a new standalone item. For MO2 users, open the folder where all your mods are located. Drag and drop your new mod folder into the MO2 mods folder, and be sure you do not drop it by accident into another mod. Then go back to MO2, click on the little tools icon and select Refresh. Your new mod should appear at the bottom of the left-hand pane. Activate it, and then drag and drop the mod on the left and the plugin on the right to wherever you want them in your load order. And that's it! It's time to get into the game and test your new mod out. So let's see how our new pouches work in the game. Launch Skyrim and load up any type of character you want. Use the console to search for your new pouches. If you followed along, the name is Archmage Pouches, so find that ID number and add it to your inventory. If you don't already have the matching robes, find and add the pouchless Archmage robes that we made into replacer items in video number 24. Open up your inventory window and see how the pouches look. Then put the Archmage robes on, followed by the pouches, and check to see how they look together. With both the robes and the pouches on, open up Race menu and check that they both weight slide properly. Exit Race menu and see how they look as you run around. There should be little to no clipping if things are working right. Then open Race menu and change your character's sex. Do the same checks, weight sliding, inventory model, and run around to see how they work. Hopefully everything looks fine, and now you have a choice of when to be saddled with all those straps and bags, and when to just chill out in your fancy robes. Compared to the replacer mods we made previously, there are a few more things that can go wrong when you add in a new item. Many of the potential issues are things we already discussed in videos number 24 and 26 for the replacers. Please refer to the troubleshooting sections of those videos first. If none of that fixes your problem, then it's probably something wrong with your new plugin. Open SSEEdit and have a look at it. I can't cover every possibility here, but these are the most likely culprits. There should not be any other mods located to the right side of your plugin in SSEEdit. If there are, then they are overwriting your item. Exit SSEEdit and change the load order of your plugins so that your new mod loads after any of those that were shown. This can be done either in the right-hand side of MO2 or in the rules list for your plugins in Vortex. If that is not the issue, then double-check your new plugin carefully. For weight sliding items, make sure the weight sliding flag is ticked on in the Armor Addon record, and this has to be ticked on separately for each sex. Then make sure the wearable NIF path in the Armor Addon record and the ground model NIF path in the Armor record are exactly correct compared to the new mod folder that you set up. Check both the male and female files to be sure. Remember not to start any path listings in the plugin with the word meshes. And remember to list the _1 file for the wearable NIF. And don't forget that you need to include the .nif extension for your file. Next, check the partitions in the Armor Addon record. Every partition used in every mesh in the wearable NIF should be listed here. Open the NIF in NIF scope and check all the partitions in the BS Dismember Skin instance block of each mesh to be sure. Refer to the relevant timestamp in video number 22 if you aren't sure how to do that. Also, check the partitions in the Armor record of your plugin. There should typically be only one partition listed here, and this is the Equip slot. You cannot wear any other item at the same time as yours if it uses this same Equip slot. See video number 13 about partitions for more on that. Lastly, check that your Armor record points to the correct Armor Addon record for your item. If it does not, then you're going to see the wrong thing when you try to wear it, even if the ground model shows the correct one. If you are having an issue, hopefully one of those tips covers it. If you are still stuck after trying all those suggestions, feel free to post a comment here or try asking over in the Body Slide Discord server. Whew, so we had 3 long videos about adding items to the game. But I hope we covered everything that you need in order to successfully get your outfits or accessories into Skyrim. Pat yourself on the back and stand proud. You did it! With this knowledge, a whole new world of possibilities has opened up for you. So get out there, experiment, and have fun seeing your results in the game. Thanks for watching and for working through these examples with me to learn the process. We've got more Outfit Studio work coming up, so I'll see you again soon for that. Bye!